Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 341. Unifying the Black Mist Mountain Range, the True King Without a Crown. If I return now to the main world, the size of my inner world would likely exceed 100 miles, or even several hundred miles. Lin Yuan secretly thought. Normally, for someone newly advanced to the 8th rank, their inner world would reach a span of 100 miles. Along with continuous practice at the 8th rank, the inner world will slowly grow. The expansion primarily depends on the understanding of the space rules. It is also about comprehending more of the core space models, leading to a more stable spatial foundation in the inner world, which would facilitate easier expansion. If one lacks sufficient understanding of space and forcibly expands the inner world, it might cause its collapse. But with Lin Yuan's current understanding of the space rules, expanding his inner world to several hundred miles would be easy. An inner world of several hundred miles, even though Lin Yuan has only just entered the 7th rank, would allow him to contend with someone at the newly advanced 8th rank with the vast power of his world. 7th Stage Martial Tao. Lin Yuan's expression fell into brief contemplation. Over these years, he had devoted much of his time to refining and perfecting the 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. After all, Lin Yuan was well aware that his foundation was still the martial arts evolution system, though the cultivation system of the demon tree was only temporary. Initial cultivation of entities like the ancestral demon tree and foreign evil god is swift, but it harbors many dangers. It is nowhere as steadily progressive and inherently righteous as the martial arts evolution system. Now I've basically completed the marquee stage of the 7th rank chapter. The next step is the king level. Lin Yuan secretly thought. The many evolution paths in the main world divide the 7th rank into 3 stages. Marquee. King. Lin Yuan applied the same 3 stages to his 7th stage Martial Tao chapter. Completing the Marquee stage equates to finishing 1/3 of the 7th rank chapter. The only stages left are King and King. It's about time to make a move. Lin Yuan glanced towards the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain Range. Since the Phoenix King disappeared, the remaining 7 kings of the mountain range had gathered together. This act thwarted Lin Yuan's plan to defeat them one by one. For nearly a decade, Lin Yuan's roots permeated every corner of the Black Mist Mountain Range, except for its deepest part. He was concerned it might startle the snake. But now, with Lin Yuan's strength, those 7 kings could be suppressed with a counterattack. At the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain Range, 7 colossal beings stood there. Their terrifying presence pervaded. Ordinary demonic beasts, let alone approaching, would tremble in fear just by sensing a fraction of this atmosphere. These 7 colossal beings are the 7 kings of the Black Mist Mountain Range. Together with the previous Phoenix King, they are known as the Black Mist 8 Kings, having been the absolute rulers of the mountain range for many long years. However, at this moment, the atmosphere among these 7 kings was heavy, their expressions and eyes filled with worry. Where could the Phoenix King have gone? It has been 10 years without a trace. The Divine Ape King spoke softly, his massive voice vibrating in all directions. Upon hearing this, the rest of the 6 kings exchanged glances. They too were curious about the whereabouts of the Phoenix King. 10 years ago, the Phoenix King suddenly disappeared, taking with it a phoenix tree and Earthflame Valley, resulting in ominous thoughts among them. That was why, for the past 10 years, the 7 kings have stayed together, never separating, all to guard against something. But this can't go on forever. It's been 10 years since the Phoenix King disappeared, and it likely met with misfortune. We can't just keep waiting. In a moment, I will go out and meet with the Tianqing Alliance leader to inquire if he is aware of this matter. The leading Colossus King finally spoke out. Among the 8 kings of the Black Mist, the Colossus King, with the blood of ancient divine elephants flowing within, is the leader. Right? Go and ask the Tianqing Alliance leader. Indeed, even if the leader doesn't know, he should investigate. I want to see who would dare to strike against the Black Mist Mountain Range. The other demon beast kings discussed amongst themselves. The Tianqing Alliance leader, being the strongest in the Tianqing world, is a major force against the foreign evil gods. Given the character of the Tianqing Alliance leader, he would not allow internal strife in the Tianqing world when there should be unity against external forces. However, before anything was confirmed, they dared not casually contact the Tianqing Alliance leader. If they just reported to the Tianqing Alliance and the Phoenix King returned soon after, it would be awkward. They might even be held accountable by the leader. But 10 years have passed with no news of the Phoenix King, so it was time to report to the Tianqing Alliance leader. Let's go. Let's go together. The 7 demon beast kings got up, ready to fly outside. Suddenly, the giant elephant king's expression subtly shifted. There's something outside. The giant elephant king's form froze, his gaze intensely scanning the surroundings. Something wrong. Hearing this, the other 6 kings immediately became alert. The next moment, a black vine descended from the sky. Ha! The divine ape king's face changed dramatically, his instincts urging him to dodge. Although unclear what the black vine was, the instinct of a demon beast king made the divine ape king want to keep away. However, at that moment, the divine ape king's movements seemed to slow down numerous times. More precisely, the space around the divine ape king appeared to stretch many times over, turning what should have been a steppable distance into one where hundreds of steps still spun in place. Whoosh! The black vine quickly engulfed the divine ape king and dragged him upwards. The giant elephant king and the other 6 demon beast kings could clearly see the divine ape king still desperately struggling while entwined by the black vine. Chapter 342. But it was all in vain, as he was rapidly dragged away without the capacity to resist. What is that? It was only at this moment that the giant elephant king and the other 5 demon beast kings noticed an imposing ancient tree standing not far away, the presence of which was previously unknown to them. The ancient tree, black in color, towered unimaginably high and was shrouded in an evil, chaotic aura. Just now, it was one of this tree's countless vines that had dragged away the divine ape king. This is bad. The giant elephant king and the other demon beast kings felt their scalps explode. They had no idea when such a monstrous tree had appeared next to their lairs. If the divine ape king, with his strength, couldn't withstand even one of its countless vines, how powerful was the entire tree? As for the evil, chaotic aura that the ancient god emitted, the minds of the giant elephant king and the other 5 demon beast kings were in complete disarray, with no time to consider it carefully. In the hearts of the 6 demon beast kings, there was only one thought. That was, run. Run as far as possible. Boom! The 6 terrifyingly powerful demon beast kings. Almost simultaneously, they dashed in 6 different directions. Even in such a state of utter panic, the demon beast kings instinctively chose different paths. This way, they could at least distract the attention of the terrifying ancient tree. Rustle. 6 black vines descended from the towering ancient tree. 5 of the demon beast kings struggled briefly against the entwining vines but were quickly dragged away just like the divine ape king. Only the giant elephant king. Break! The massive body of the giant elephant king burst forth with earth-shaking power. As a descendant of the ancient gods, the giant elephant king inherited part of the formidable life force of the ancient gods. The ancient gods, it is said, did not originate from the Tianqing world but came from beyond its realms. It was precisely because of the talents of the ancient gods that the giant elephant king was able to overpower the other 7 kings of the Black Mist Mountain range and secure the throne of the strongest demon beast king. In fact, not just in the Black Mist Mountain range, In the other 9 mountain ranges of the Tianqing world and among the dozens of other demon beast kings, the power of the giant elephant king was also considered terrifying, ranking within the top 3 or even number 1. Rumble. Faced with the black vines that easily dragged away 6 demon beast kings, the full potential of the giant elephant king was forced out. His blood boiled, and a huge phantom of a sacred elephant appeared behind him. Crack. Under the furious outbreak of the giant elephant king, the black vine slowly shattered. Did he break free? The expression of the giant elephant king turned wildly ecstatic. From the moment the divine ape king was dragged away by the black vines to when the 6 demon beast kings fell into the same fate. To the giant elephant king, the black vines were like the grim reaper, exuding an immense oppressive force. However, now, with the giant elephant king unleashing his full potential and employing dozens of secret techniques to enhance his power, he had finally shattered the black vine, ensuring he wouldn't be dragged away like the other demon beast kings. My power, my lineage. The giant elephant king had barely felt joy when he suddenly turned his head and desperately discovered hundreds, thousands of black vines sweeping towards him. The face of the giant elephant king turned ashen. He had hardly broken one black vine at a tremendous cost, only for hundreds or thousands of them to appear as soon as he turned around. How was he supposed to cope? Overwhelmed by despair. This time the giant elephant king didn't put up any resistance. Instead, he nearly leapt into the midst of the black vines voluntarily, and then was dragged away. Yes, from today on, the Black Mist Mountain Range is completely mine. Lin Yuan's figure rapidly shrank, influenced by space rules. Even the 7 enormous demon beast kings also began to shrink quickly. Wrapped in black vines, hanging below the branches, Lin Yuan glanced at the 7 demon beast kings who had fallen into a deep sleep, with no intention to devour them. If it had been before the ancestral demon tree had made contact, facing such delicacies as the demon beast kings, Lin Yuan would have chosen to devour them immediately, just like he had swallowed the Phoenix King, to quickly enhance his own strength and foundation. But with the feeding from the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan lost interest in these ordinary flesh and souls. Even if these demon beast kings were strong and their vitality vigorous, could they really compare to the origin power of the ancestral demon tree? There was no comparison at all. The origin power of the ancestral demon tree was the core strength of a foreign evil god. Theoretically, as long as Lin Yuan devoured enough origin power of the ancestor, he could replace the ancestral demon tree and become a standalone foreign evil god. Let them stay for now, they'll be useful later, he said. Lin Yuan did not kill those 7 demon beast kings. In future schemes, he might find a use for them. At this moment, with the 7 demon beast kings plunged into deep sleep, they were as good as dead, not affecting Lin Yuan's subsequent actions. Let's begin, he said. With a slight movement of Lin Yuan's mind, having dealt with the 7 demon beast kings, Lin Yuan, with no one left to fear, began to spread his roots toward the deepest parts of the Black Mist Mountain Range. There's a large spirit vein here. No wonder those demon beast kings considered this area as their stronghold. Lin Yuan's roots penetrated deep into the ground, ensnaring that abundant spirit vein, and began slowly devouring the pure spiritual power within it. If the origin power fed by the ancestral demon tree was the main course, then this large spirit vein was like a soup before the meal, just something casual to change the taste. Several days later, Lin Yuan's roots had completely covered the deepest parts of the Black Mist Mountain Range. That is to say, the Black Mist Mountain Range, spanning millions of miles, was entirely under the control of Lin Yuan's roots. At this moment, Lin Yuan had truly become the uncrowned king of the Black Mist Mountain Range, far surpassing the uncrowned king title of the past demon beast kings. After all, the previous demon beast kings of the Black Mist Mountain Range only nominally ruled the area, but Lin Yuan substantively controlled it, with his roots spread throughout every corner of the mountain range. Ancestor, the environment of the Black Mist Mountain Range is terribly harsh. Just recently a few powerful demonic beasts nearly attacked me. Lin Yuan's mind sank into the root area as he typically complained to the ancestral demon tree. The Black Mist Mountain Range. It's teeming with demonic beasts and is extremely dangerous. You really had it tough, comforted the ancestral demon tree. Having fought with countless cultivators from Tianqing world until now, it had come to understand much information about the world. Among them, the Black Mist Mountain Range was one of the top 10 demonic beast mountain ranges of the Tianqing world, undoubtedly dangerous. In the eyes of the ancestral demon tree, the mere survival of Lin Yuan in the Black Mist Mountain Range was already a miracle. Here, I'll give you some more origin power for self-protection, said the ancestral demon tree after some thought. Lin Yuan was its last hope for descending into the Tianqing world. How could it let him die at the hands of those beasts of the Black Mist Mountain Range? Thank you, ancestor, Lin Yuan said gratefully. Indeed, in the view of Lin Yuan, the ancestral demon tree was somewhat in a dilemma. Over these 10 years, the ancestral demon tree had invested a vast amount of origin power into Lin Yuan. This origin power could only be recouped once the ancestral demon tree descended into the Tianqing world. But to descend into the Tianqing world, it needed to continue feeding Lin Yuan origin power, putting the ancestral demon tree in an awkward situation. If it had been before contacting Lin Yuan, the ancestral demon tree was not so set on acquiring the Tianqing world. Being able to descend was naturally good. If it was otherwise unable to descend and the situation became deadlocked, leaving would also not involve substantial loss. But now, if the ancestral demon tree chose to leave, the losses would be significant, as so much of its origin power was within Lin Yuan. If it gave up on the Tianqing world, it would likely not recover for thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of years. Losses are only temporary, the vision must be long-term. As long as I can descend into the Tianqing world, any great losses can be recouped, and devouring an entire world's origin would be greatly beneficial to me. With this mindset, the ancestral demon tree again allocated some of its origin, sending it to Lin Yuan. Chapter 343, Improving Demon Parasitism. Thank you, ancestor. Having obtained another large mass of origin source, Lin Yuan immediately expressed his gratitude. Lin Yuan's gratitude was indeed heartfelt. In the past 5 travels, he had relied mostly on himself, even during the 5th travel, where he became a background celestial of the 3rd generation. Most of the resources Lin Yuan needed for his cultivation were also largely dependent on his Yin spirit and Yang spirit adventuring outside. However, now, as long as Lin Yuan voiced his hardships, the ancestral demon tree, despite the consumption, would actively send over the origin source. Of course, Lin Yuan was aware. The ancestral demon tree did this completely using him. Should he successfully arrive in the Tianqing world, he guessed he would be the first to die. Over the years, the origin source the ancestral demon tree had invested in him naturally had to be recouped. Just as the ancestral demon tree was thinking of devouring Lin Yuan was similarly contemplating devouring the ancestral demon tree. At present, the existence of the ancestral demon tree brought far more benefits than drawbacks to Lin Yuan, equivalent to an inexhaustible treasury of cultivation. Moreover, Lin Yuan had already resolved the control the ancestral demon tree had over its offspring demon trees using the sealing skill, leading to no fundamental risks at all. Cultivate well. Grow to the 5th stage as soon as possible. The spiritual fluctuations emitted by the ancestral demon tree contained an encouraging tone, as if a gentle elder was earnestly instructing. The growth of the demon tree, unlike normal cultivators, is in stages. Specifically, the 1st stage, 2nd stage, 3rd stage. The ancestral demon tree itself was in the 8th stage, being a powerful evil god from beyond territories. The offspring demon tree is an extension of the ancestral demon tree, with an inexplicable connection between them. Once the offspring demon tree grows to the 5th stage, its life essence would be sufficient to establish a spatial passage with the ancestral demon tree. At that point, the ancestral demon tree could enter the Tianqing world through another method. This was also the final scheme of the ancestral demon tree, as forcefully entering the Tianqing world under the current circumstances was unrealistic. Ancestor, rest assured. I will definitely strive to grow. Your glory will soon envelop this world, and then all beings will submit at the feet of the ancestor. Lin Yuan was also painting a picture for the ancestral demon tree. He had no choice. If the ancestral demon tree abandoned the Tianqing world and fled now, Lin Yuan could only watch helplessly. So he could only keep the ancestral demon tree hopeful about the immediate prospect, along with the earlier investments creating a sunk cost. This could securely bind the ancestral demon tree outside the world. Naturally, as long as we can occupy this world, I might as well grant you freedom and let you become a new evil god, the ancestral demon tree said seriously. In fact, the ancestral demon tree never intended to let Lin Yuan live. Are you kidding? After consuming so much of my origin source, you still want to live? But some things can't be said so directly, even when facing its offspring, for which a single thought could decide life or death. It also needs to pay attention to some formalities. And so, the two demon trees with different intentions severed their connection. In the depths of the Black Mist Mountain Range, Lin Yuan pondered the information recently revealed by the ancestral demon tree. The fifth stage. Lin Yuan thought to himself, the growth of a demon tree and cultivating are different matters. It relates to strength but is not entirely about strength. For example, right now, Lin Yuan possessed the power of the 7th rank, but in the growth stages of a demon tree he was still at the 6th stage. With the world barrier in place, and with my own aura concealed, the ancestral demon tree cannot detect which exact stage I've grown into, Lin Yuan secretly thought. The Tianqing world was very cautious about guarding against the ancestral demon tree, decades ago, to pry open a crack in the barrier of the Tianqing world to drop demon seeds. The ancestral demon tree paid a tremendous price. And since then, the defense measures of the Tianqing world against the ancestral demon tree had gone up a notch. So, the ancestral demon tree's perception of Lin Yuan was actually quite limited, plus the many concealment techniques Lin Yuan figured out himself were virtually foolproof. On the battlefield outside the world, the Tianqing alliance has been winning recently. Lin Yuan's gaze shifted, looking towards a direction where countless Tianqing alliance experts were battling with evil god puppets. It wasn't surprising to Lin Yuan that the Tianqing alliance was gaining an upper hand on the battlefield. In the past decade, to fund Lin Yuan, the ancestral demon tree had sent over so much of its own origin power. As a result, reducing its strength and the number of evil god puppets it could produce. Strictly speaking, although Lin Yuan was an offspring of the ancestral demon tree, he contributed to the Tianqing world, diminishing the power of the ancestral demon tree. With the Tianqing alliance gaining the upper hand on the battlefield outside the world, the credit largely belonged to Lin Yuan. Outside the Tianqing world, the colossal ancestral demon tree stood towering in the void, its numerous vines swaying, spreading a terrifying demon realm in all directions. And opposite the ancestral demon tree stood 13 figures side by side. It was the leader of the Tianqing Alliance and the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs. The leader of the Tianqing Alliance, being the strongest in the Tianqing world, wielded the sword of the world, nearly able to unleash the combat power of the 8th rank. As for the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs, they were all of the 7th rank, not to be underestimated.
Evil God, D.
The leader of the Tianqing Alliance grasped the stone sword and slashed at the ancestral demon tree. With a rip, a vast force of space was torn apart, forming spatial turbulence, carrying with it the might of the void. Chapter 344. The ancestral demon tree, still massive in form, swayed its countless black tendrils just enough to block the sword strike. If it weren't for this world, you ants, where would you get the audacity to stand before me? The ancestral demon tree emitted a vast spiritual fluctuation. What it feared most was the stone longsword in the hands of the Tianqing Alliance leader. That was the world sword, nurtured by the Tianqing world over countless millennia, which, under normal circumstances, should remain dormant deep within the world, turning with the world's rotations. Yet, this time, the invasion of the ancestral demon tree made the Tianqing world extremely vigilant, prompting it to unhesitatingly release the stone longsword to join forces with Tianqing's strongest fighters to resist the invasion by the foreign evil god. After a bitter battle, the ancestral demon tree retreated on its own accord. Regarding this, the Tianqing Alliance leader and the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs could only relent. Near the Tianqing world, they could contend with the ancestral demon tree, but stepping away from the Tianqing world would be suicidal. The stone longsword in the hands of the Tianqing alliance leader grew more potent the closer it was to the Tianqing world. By the same principle, the farther away one was from the Tianqing world, the less potent it became, eventually no different from an ordinary longsword. Alliance leader, have you noticed? The foreign evil god seems much weaker this time. A vice alliance hierarch pondered for a moment before speaking up. Indeed. The Tianqing alliance leader nodded. Since the invasion of the ancestral demon tree began, they had fought it every 4 or 5 decades. Protected by the stone longsword, they could well manage a fight-to-fight basis against the ancestral demon tree. But this time, the ancestral demon tree didn't engage them in battle. And from the few skirmishes they had, they faintly perceived the ancestral demon tree's weakness. What exactly is going on? Is the evil god doing this deliberately, to lure us? The Tianqing alliance leader was somewhat perplexed. The ancestral demon tree's diminished strength was completely baffling since they had never managed to strike at its core. How could its strength decrease so inexplicably? Therefore, the Tianqing alliance leader's first reaction was to suspect whether the ancestral demon tree was intentionally showing weakness to lure them into a trap. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range, Lin Yuan felt the details of the surroundings for a while. He then continued with his contemplation. Your against heaven's understanding is discerning the demonic seeds, enhancing their parasitic essence. Your against heaven's understanding is discerning the demonic seeds, enhancing their parasitic essence. Your against heaven's understanding is discerning the demonic seeds, enhancing their parasitic essence. In front of Lin Yuan, several gray, fuzzy seeds floated. As a talented method of demon trees, the demonic seeds had many effects. Among them, the parasitic ability was particularly valued by Lin Yuan. However, the original parasitic ability of the demonic seeds was too crude, making the parasitized beings look like zombies, too evident in their behavior. Therefore, for the past several decades, Lin Yuan dedicated some time each day to refine the flaws of the demonic seeds. I've made preliminary improvements. Let's see how effective it is. Lin Yuan glanced at a nearby demon beast king entangled by black tendrils. Lin Yuan kept these demon beast kings alive because they were useful, and it was the perfect time to test the parasitic ability of the demonic seeds. As for why not to first parasitize lower-ranking demonic beasts, parasitizing lower-ranking demonic beasts would merely waste Lin Yuan's seeds. The effectiveness of the demonic parasitic ability entirely depends on the strength of the host. If the host possesses 5th rank strength after the parasitism, it could still largely retain 5th rank strength. If the host has only 1st rank strength after parasitism, it remains at the 1st rank, and what use is that to Lin Yuan? In Lin Yuan's eyes, within the whole Black Mist Mountain range, only the few 6th rank demon beast kings barely held value for parasitism. Rustle. A black tendril loosened. A demon beast king fell. During its fall, the beast's body rapidly enlarged, and by the time it hit the ground, it had become a massive creature. Where is this? This demon beast king was the divine ape king. Having been unconscious for so long, it was now awake and confused for a moment. No, wrong. Only a few breaths had passed when the divine ape king realized what was happening, and his expression immediately tensed. Turning his head, he found himself beneath that terrifying ancient tree, and a chill ran through his heart. The divine ape king instinctively thought to flee, but found that his body was pervaded by an evil power, under which even the slightest movement was extremely difficult, let alone running. Just as the divine ape king was contemplating whether to say a few words, a gray, dusty seed fell from a branch, quickly heading toward him. What is that? Although the divine ape king was unable to move, he instinctively sensed danger. Buzz. The gray, dusty seed landed straight on the forehead of the divine ape king, and then roots quickly sprouted from the surface of the seed, embedding themselves in his forehead. Ah! The divine ape king let out a painful roar. At that moment, his head felt as though it had exploded, and his consciousness even began to blur. This seed, does it want to replace me? Suddenly, a great terror surged in the heart of the divine ape king. The gray, dusty seed, now rooting in his brain, was slowly expelling his original consciousness and attempting to usurp his place. No, I don't want this. The divine ape king struggled fiercely. Compared with being replaced, complete death felt like a release. The divine ape king resisted fiercely, gathering the remaining force in his consciousness to charge at the demonic parasite. However, regrettably, at that moment, the entire body of the divine ape king was suppressed by Lin Yuan's power, leaving behind just a trace of the power of his consciousness. How could it possibly resist the demonic parasite? Just half a day had passed, and the consciousness of the divine ape king completely collapsed. The demonic parasite had successfully rooted itself. Outside, Lin Yuan was observing the changes in the divine ape king. Master! Just then, the divine ape king slowly rose from the ground and bowed slightly towards Lin Yuan. The parasitic process went smoothly. Lin Yuan could clearly sense the presence of the demonic parasite deep in the brain of the divine ape king. Master, I now possess all the memories of the divine ape king, along with every ability and skill. The divine ape king began to report. Half an hour later, Lin Yuan sent the divine ape king away. The current divine ape king had been completely replaced by the demonic parasite, leaving no concern regarding fidelity. Not bad. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. From observing the behavior and reactions of the replaced divine ape king, with just a bit more attention, there was essentially no difference from the original divine ape king. At the very least, it was far better than initially, when victims of demonic parasite infestation appeared vacant and stiff. The current demonic parasite not only perfectly integrated into the host's body but also acquired all of their memories. It could nearly reach the level of authentic deception. However, there are still some flaws. Continue to refine. Lin Yuan pondered for a while, deciding to spend the following time perfecting it with against heaven's understanding. The reason Lin Yuan devoted such effort to parasitism was to prepare for the proliferation of martial Tao later on. Unfortunately, the appearance of the demon tree wasn't great, so Lin Yuan needed to find some spokespersons. And these spokespersons had to be absolutely loyal to Lin Yuan, perfectly suiting the parasitic ability of the demonic parasite. Martial Tao. Lin Yuan's thoughts surged. Limited here due to the very nature of the demon tree, he hadn't embarked on the martial Tao. But everything he was doing was paving the way for martial Tao, and spreading the martial path evolutionary path was the main plan for the next few hundred years. Continue to cultivate. Lin Yuan immersed his mind in cultivation, and the inner qi within his body grew increasingly terrifying, like an unfathomably vast ocean. No one knew, including the invincible Tianqing Alliance leader, ancestral demon tree. In the absolutely safe rear of Tianqing world, changes were happening that could overturn the current situation. Chapter 345. Draining the Ancestral Demon Tree. Name: Demon Tree, Lin Yuan. Identity: Holder of the Myriad Realms Gate. Bound Talent: Heaven-defying comprehension. Divine Power: Blood Resurrection. Current Status: Consciousness Descent. Remaining Residency Time: 500 years. Another 30 years have passed. In the depths of the Black Mist Mountain Range, Lin Yuan had transformed into a demon tree. Although only 100 meters tall, his roots had already spread across tens of millions of miles. Even the 100-meter height was the result of Lin Yuan actively suppressing his growth. If he chose to unleash his full size, he could easily swell by 10 million times, blotting out the sun. Master, master! Just then, a bird with azure feathers flew over and landed on Lin Yuan's trunk. This azure-feathered bird, in comparison to Lin Yuan, had a very insignificant presence. But if placed outside, it would also be a king among demonic beasts, commanding tens of thousands of powerful creatures. The situation is all normal. The azure-feathered bird spoke with respect. This particular azure-feathered bird had naturally been parasitized long ago by a demon seed, rendering it absolutely loyal to Lin Yuan. In some ways, the azure-feathered bird was no different from Lin Yuan's incarnation, replaced by the demon tree seed, and whenever Lin Yuan wished, he could use it as his vessel for a distant descent of his consciousness. Do not be complacent, Lin Yuan cautioned. Rest assured, master. The azure-feathered bird immediately responded. Its tone and demeanor were now indistinguishable from that of normal demon beast kings. Over the past 30 years, Lin Yuan had made significant progress on the parasitism of the demon seed. A parasitized being could hardly be distinguished by appearance from others. Even their mannerisms and memories of their original life remained unchanged. They indeed reached a degree of deception that was convincingly real. Although it wasn't right to say it was real, essentially, the life that had been parasitized by the demon seed was still alive. It was just under the subconscious influence of the demon seed, regarding Lin Yuan as the object of absolute loyalty. The talent of the foreign evil god is truly unimaginable, Lin Yuan thought to himself. In fact, this was Lin Yuan overthinking. The parasitic technique of the ancestral demon tree had major flaws. The parasitized had many limiting conditions. And even if the parasitism was ultimately successful, it couldn't mimic the original body. The movements were extremely stiff, and the gaze was vacant, only suitable for use as cannon fodder. The parasitic ability that Lin Yuan now perfected, rather than saying the foreign evil god was terrifying, it was more appropriate to say his own heaven-defying comprehension was terrifying. This ability to deduce further advancements based on known substances, to go beyond by leaps and bounds, that was truly unimaginable. However, within the Tianqing world, any being with a bit of strength has been summoned to battlefields beyond this world. Currently within Tianqing world, except for those demon beast kings, there are no other lives worth parasitizing. Lin Yuan sighed. The perfected parasitic technique, although capable of perfectly replacing the host. Likewise, the crafting difficulty of the demon seed core increased significantly. If it were merely the initial form of parasitism, Lin Yuan could, in a mere thought, condense tens or hundreds of thousands of demon seeds. But now, it took Lin Yuan half a year just to condense one. The demon seeds Lin Yuan had condensed, apart from those used on the 7 demon beast kings within the Black Mist Mountain range. The rest numbered just 36. And Lin Yuan had a faint feeling that such demon seeds could only exist up to a maximum of 100 at the same time. Simply put, the perfected demon seeds, whether having already parasitized other lives or yet to parasitize, when added together, could only amount to a maximum of 100. To condense the 101st, it would be necessary to wait for a parasitized being to die and the demon seed to be destroyed. Even then, the total number of demon seeds would remain at 100. Why is that? Is it due to rules? Or constraints of the great Tao? Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. This phenomenon also often occurred in the main world universe starry sky. Those special beings, whose talents were powerful and had a high starting point, and precisely because of it such special lives were very rare. Was it that these special beings didn't want to reproduce or have offspring? That wasn't the case. It was either impossible to reproduce or very difficult. In comparison, human civilization was much easier to proliferate. But individual humans possessed practically no talents and had a very low starting point. A first-rank evolver already stood above 99% of humans. It was because of the increased difficulty in condensing demon tree seeds that Lin Yuan had not continued with further parasitism. Surely he couldn't just randomly parasitize any person of this realm? That would be too wasteful. Lin Yuan's parasitic targets must at least be 6th rank. Anything less would be a waste with no value for parasitism. Yet, after such a long time, apart from awakening the demon seed talent, why haven't I awakened any other abilities? Lin Yuan fell into brief contemplation. As the ancestor demon tree, a sinister god that dominated the foreign realms and used worlds as food, could it really have only the demon seed talent? Just the thought made it seem unlikely. If it only had the demon tree seed, how could the ancestral demon tree hold out for so long against countless strong foes of the Tianqing world beyond the realm? Over the years, through constant investigation, Lin Yuan also understood the basic configuration of the Tianqing World Alliance. Firstly, it was the Tianqing Alliance hierarch at the 7th rank peak with the World Sword, capable of exhibiting 8th layer combat power. Next were the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs, all 7th rankers. Following them were 33 protectors, 6th rank peak powerhouses. The last were 156 elders, 6th rankers. Chapter 346. The strength of Tianqing World is formidable. Placed in the main world, it would certainly be at least a common clan just below the peak clans and powerful clans. The ancestral demon tree has been able to confront the Tianqing Alliance for such a long time. Its methods and foundations are definitely on the same level or even stronger. It must have held back something from me. That's normal. Even if it's an ancestor, it can't possibly trust its progeny absolutely. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. He surmised that he was probably subject to some restrictions by the ancestral demon tree, and as an offspring it was too easy for the other party to leave some techniques in him. Just a bit more and I can grow to the 7th stage. There's no rush. Lin Yuan assessed himself 30 years ago. He was already at the peak of the 6th stage. Here, the 6th stage and the 7th stage do not refer to the levels of strength or realm, but rather the growth height of the demon tree. The reason Lin Yuan was reluctant to enter the 7th stage was that the demon tree at this stage was almost on the same level as the ancestral demon tree. The ancestral demon tree, though it is said to be at the 8th stage, is only so in name. In essence, it is between the 7th and 8th stages. If Lin Yuan advances to the 7th stage, a second demon tree of the same level will be born. Even with the separation by the Tianqing world and Lin Yuan using secret techniques to hide, he will still be noticed by the ancestral demon tree. At that time, the ancestral demon tree will certainly not hesitate to activate its countermeasures. The emergence of a second 7th stage demon tree could very likely replace the ancestral demon tree and become the new foreign evil god. Compared with this, the Tianqing world is nothing. Of course, Lin Yuan had long since sealed the ancestral demon tree's countermeasures, effectively freeing himself from the ancestral demon tree's control. However, if this scene really happens, Lin Yuan estimates it will be difficult to take advantage of the ancestral demon tree. Therefore, before confronting the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan will not advance to the 7th stage. After all, the growth stages of the demon tree are not linked to strength. Even at the 6th stage, Lin Yuan's strength will still continue to rise. How are things on your end? When will you advance to the 5th stage? Several days later, the ancestral demon tree proactively contacted Lin Yuan, sounding somewhat anxious. Over the past 30 years, the leader of the Tianqing Alliance has been acting like a madman, attacking it repeatedly on his own initiative. If it were in the past, the ancestral demon tree certainly would not have indulged him. But over the recent decades, in order to support Lin Yuan, it has already sacrificed a significant part of its origin source, and its strength has clearly diminished. The ancestral demon tree faintly felt that the Tianqing Alliance leader has sensed its decline in strength and is now seizing the opportunity to strike at its weakest. Ancestor, I have been targeted by the giant elephant king of the Black Mist Mountain range, and now I barely have any time to cultivate. That giant elephant king is too powerful. I lack offensive capabilities and can only passively defend and run. It's too difficult. Lin Yuan couldn't help but say, glancing at the giant elephant king who was kneeling on the ground not far away, continuing to play the victim. Ancestor, if I could kill the giant elephant king, I should be able to advance to the 5th stage in a short time. By rights, with the origin power sent by the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan should have advanced to the 5th stage long ago. But the power Lin Yuan displayed was impeccable. He was being hunted and had no time to cultivate and grow. To kill the giant elephant king. The ancestral demon tree's thoughts fluctuated. In the area of controlling its offspring demon trees, besides being able to decide their life and death with a single thought, it could also limit their many abilities and talents. This was a countermeasure specifically left by the ancestral demon tree. If each offspring demon tree possessed all the abilities and talents of the ancestral demon tree, then the emergence of one that reached the 7th rank would be equivalent to a weakened version of the ancestral demon tree, creating an unmanageable situation. But by limiting the talents and abilities of the offspring demon tree, Even if one luckily grew to the 7th rank, it would not have any substantial combat capability and could not resist the ancestor. Enough. Granting more abilities and talents isn't much of a problem. As long as the giant Elephant King is dealt with and advanced to the 5th stage, establishing a spatial passage and my arrival in Tianqing world, I can immediately recycle it, leaving no risks. The ancestral demon tree pondered seriously for a while. It wasn't aware of the current state of Lin Yuan. Nowadays, Lin Yuan had become the uncrowned king of the Black Mist Mountain Range. If he wished, he could indeed cause a real disaster in the rear of Tianqing world. Truth be told, even if Lin Yuan were to inform the ancestral demon tree of his status now, the ancestral demon tree might not believe him, because it would be too inconceivable. In a mere 100 years, having infiltrated deep into the rear of the Tianqing world, isolated and without support, with his combat talents locked, merely surviving would already be extremely difficult. How could he have grown to this extent? Fine. I will grant you more talents and abilities. The ancestral demon tree gritted its teeth and began to release the suppression on Lin Yuan. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain Range, Lin Yuan's spirit converged on the cluster of dark flames at the root area. Just at this moment, a slight fluctuation slowly emanated from the dark flames. Upon seeing this, Lin Yuan almost activated the seal to suppress the dark flames immediately, only to reconsider that the ancestral demon tree should still be of great use to him at the moment. The tree wouldn't make a move against him. Let's see what this fluctuation is about first. Lin Yuan was cautious, ready to activate the sealing technique at any moment. Should this fluctuation have any adverse effects on him, he would immediately seal it up and stop it. The mysterious fluctuation slowly spread. Upon touching Lin Yuan's body, it seemed to unlock some kind of binding restriction. A feeling of extreme satisfaction suddenly surged through Lin Yuan. Almost simultaneously, many of the ancestral demon tree's abilities poured into Lin Yuan's mind. Like the roots of space, the ancestral demon tree could insert its roots into the void, absorbing nearly endless void energy. This power is also one of the most important abilities for each foreign evil god. Foreign evil gods wander the vast and endless void, and they may not find a world for thousands or tens of thousands of years. During this time, how are the foreign evil gods to survive? The void is filled with spatial turbulence, which is impossible to absorb. At times like this, the utility of the roots of space becomes evident. They are what sustain the basic survival of the foreign evil gods. Besides the roots of space, Lin Yuan also awakened a multitude of combat abilities, such as Space Lash, Fiend God Gaze, and so on. These abilities, akin to talents, are the foundation that enabled the ancestral demon tree to dominate beyond its world. Even when facing other foreign evil gods, it could hold its own. Too many. Lin Yuan was exceptionally thrilled. He had thought that the ancestral demon tree would unlock its abilities one by one. But he didn't expect the tree to be so generous. Had it really just opened up completely? From this perspective, the situation of the ancestral demon tree outside the world must be very tough. Lin Yuan mused to himself. However, in the blink of an eye, he turned all his focus to these newly awakened abilities. The ancestral demon tree's many abilities were exceedingly rare and even bizarre, not inferior to the physical body divine ability of blood rebirth. With his against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan could fully apprehend these abilities and incorporate them into the martial arts evolution system. Ancestor. Lin Yuan barely shifted his focus, about to express his thanks to the ancestor and conveniently declare his loyalty, when he heard the ancestral demon tree suddenly let out a roar. Right after that, the frustrated voice of the ancestral demon tree came. That madman is here again. Damn it. Do you really think I can't kill you just because you hold the world sword? The next moment, Lin Yuan's connection with the ancestral demon tree was severed. Clearly, the ancestral demon tree was forced to engage the Tianqing alliance leader and had no energy to maintain its connection with Lin Yuan. That's bad. Lin Yuan fell silent for a while, then sighed. As the ancestral demon tree fought a life and death battle outside of the world, and since it had given its origin source to Lin Yuan, it was under certain restraints. Meanwhile, the primary culprit for all this, Lin Yuan, was leisurely located deep within the Tianqing world, using resources plundered from the ancestral demon tree to cultivate and rapidly become stronger. The two situations were worlds apart. It even made Lin Yuan feel a bit embarrassed. Chapter 347. The Ambitious Tianqing Alliance Leader. Outside the world, the Tianqing Alliance leader held a stone sword in his hand, from which an invisible force emanated, blocking the many injuries coming from all directions. Insects, you forced my hand. In the distance, the ancestral demon tree was furious. Upon closer inspection, one could discern a faint sword mark on its trunk. Clearly, in the recent battle with the Tianqing Alliance leader, it had not only failed to gain the upper hand but had also suffered some losses. And what if I did force you? The Tianqing Alliance leader kept a calm expression. The ancestral demon tree inherently stood on the opposing side of Tianqing world, irreconcilable. Since that's the case, the ancestral demon tree's countless black vines swayed, vaguely shifting the space of thousands of miles around it. What is this? The Tianqing Alliance leader's expression changed slightly, as the surging demonic force was already coming at him tangibly. World Sword. The Tianqing Alliance leader gripped the long sword in his hand. With his power, he had been able to fight against a foreign evil god for so long, thanks to this world sword nurtured by Tianqing world for countless years. Although the world sword is called a sword, its defensive capability is also extremely terrifying. At least since the ancestral demon tree invaded, the Tianqing Alliance leader had remained unscathed under the protection of the world sword. Of course, the potency of the world sword is related to the distance from Tianqing world. The closer to Tianqing world, the more powerful the world sword becomes. Conversely, the weaker it becomes. This is my world. The demonic force filling the space of thousands of miles quickly diminished, space twisted, and instantly moved the Tianqing Alliance leader closer. Immediately, the forces of demonic energy continuously intertwined and collided, forming the illusory image of a world. What is this? The Tianqing Alliance leader's expression grew solemn. Such a tactic had never been used by the ancestral demon tree before. Could be foreseen that this must be one of the ancestral demon tree's trump cards. Boom! Thunderous. The immense power of the demon world began to press down, and the Tianqing Alliance leader, unchanging in response to myriad changes, held the world sword and activated its power to protect himself. In the distance, the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs of the Tianqing Alliance watched the Tianqing Alliance leader's battle with the ancestral demon tree from afar. Is the Alliance leader being too confident, asking us not to intervene and letting him confront the foreign evil god alone? One of the Vice Alliance hierarchs couldn't help but frown. Indeed, the Tianqing Alliance leader, wielding the world sword, was renowned for slaying evil and being impervious to myriad laws. But that was a foreign evil god, a fearsome entity that had almost breached into the Tianqing world single-handedly. In the face of such a being, no precaution could be too great, and voluntarily giving up their advantage to fight one-on-one seemed somewhat foolish. Although the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs together could not inflict any damage on the ancestral demon tree, at least they could restrain it and in crucial moments could prove quite useful. The Alliance leader must have his reasons. If I'm not mistaken, is the Alliance leader testing that foreign evil god? Another Vice Alliance hierarch mused. If the Tianqing Alliance leader and the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs joined forces, that foreign evil god would likely not engage in battle, much less exert full power. But now, with only the Alliance leader alone, that foreign evil god might entertain the idea of severely injuring or even killing the Alliance leader, and might strike with full force. And in a full-strength battle, it would be easier to discern the true extent of the adversary's capabilities. This is not good. What tactic did that evil god use to ensnare the Alliance leader? Just then, the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs saw the ancestral demon tree surrounded by dark demonic force, and immediately, the Tianqing Alliance leader was enveloped within it. The Alliance leader has the world sword to protect him. He should be fine, right? Alas, the alliance leader is truly taking a risk. If something goes wrong, our Tianqing world will no longer have the power to resist in front of that evil god. The 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs exchanged words, their tones filled with worry. Deep within the Black Mist Mountain range. Right now, Lin Yuan was deeply immersed in enlightenment. 7 demon beast kings stood guard at various directions of the Black Mist Mountain range, ensuring that Lin Yuan was not disturbed by any external factors. Your insight is exceptional, pondering the void's root, perfecting the Martial Tao evolution system's 7th stage. Your insight is exceptional, pondering the void's root, perfecting the Martial Tao evolution system's 7th stage. Your insight is exceptional, pondering the void's root, perfecting the Martial Tao evolution system's 7th stage. Lots of inspirations about the Martial Tao evolution system 7th stage were absorbed and utilized by Lin Yuan. The many talents released by the ancestral demon tree for Lin Yuan were also integrated into the Martial Tao evolution system. For instance, Void's Root, a capability that greatly strengthens the survival ability of martial arts evolvers in later stages, allowing for prolonged existence in the void. Other evolvers, accidentally entering the void and straying from their world without an energy source, would either perish from spatial turmoil or starve to death. However, a 7th rank martial arts evolver, once reaching the level of a marquis, would possess a capability similar to that of the Void's Root, allowing survival in the void. Martial Tao evolution system, unique, yet accommodating myriad laws, like the physical body divine skills of the body cultivation lineage in the immortal Tao world, or the many talents of this ancestral demon tree. As long as they are compatible, they can all be incorporated into the Martial Tao. Lin Yuan's thoughts surged, silently reflecting. As long as the foundation of the martial path evolutionary path remained unchanged, no matter how myriad its transformations, it would still be the martial path evolutionary path, still capable of providing the sustenance for Lin Yuan's ultimate leap. Chapter 348. The root of the void has been completely absorbed. Lin Yuan ceased his enlightenment, feeling quite pleased. There's also the Fiend God Gaze, such soul attack techniques, with their own evil and chaotic origin source. Lin Yuan thought of another ability of the ancestral demon tree. However, this ability wasn't as important to Lin Yuan as he had imagined. In terms of soul attack techniques, the human civilization of the main world didn't know how many they had collected. There were many stronger than the Fiend God Gaze. Demon World. Lin Yuan's expression became slightly solemn as he began to comprehend the ultimate ability of the ancestral demon tree. It was the talent to consume the demon tree's origin source to, in a short time, condense a massive force of demonic power and refine an illusory demon world. This kind of illusory demon world shared a mysteriously similar function with the inner worlds of 8th layer powerhouses. Due to its inherent nature, the ancestral demon tree could not create its own inner world. The pure force of demons was too extreme. Nonetheless, with its talent it could achieve something similar. This talent involves the profound mysteries of space. Varieties of core spatial models emerged in Lin Yuan's mind. Spatial talent secret techniques invariably revolved around spatial models. The ability of the demon world to condense an illusory demon world undoubtedly contained the essence of space rules. Take it slowly. The demon world is the ace talent of the ancestral demon tree. Even that foreign evil god only knew how to use it without understanding its essence. Even with my against heaven's understanding, to fully comprehend such a talent would require a great deal of time. Lin Yuan contemplated for a while and found his progress somewhat slow, but he wasn't disappointed. How long had it been since he started? I wonder what rating the 7th rank chapter of the martial arts evolution system will get from the goddess of wisdom. Lin Yuan was somewhat expectant. Lin Yuan's refinement of the 7th rank chapter had already reached the marquis stage. There were still 500 years left in this world he had traveled to before returning to the main world. Before returning to the main world, there should be no problem in completely developing the 7th rank chapter. The 7th rank chapter of the martial arts evolution system contained many of Lin Yuan's painstaking efforts starting with the creation of the inner world. Although Lin Yuan would not annotate in the 7th rank chapter of Martial Arts Evolution System the possibility of opening an inner world during this phase, with the computational power of the Goddess of Wisdom and the other 2 goddesses, they should be able to deduce it. Indeed, like Lin Yuan, opening an inner world at the 7th rank would be subject to many restrictions, yet the multitude of restrictions couldn't obscure the precious possibility. For an evolver, being able to open an inner world at the 7th rank is undeniably a groundbreaking benefit. There's no need to mention combat power. Even if the inner world opened is only a few miles wide, one could almost certainly sweep other 7th rank evolvers. And observing the natural operation of the inner world greatly assists evolvers as well. Besides the inner world, Lin Yuan has now incorporated the abilities of many evil gods into the 7th rank chapter, making 7th stage martial Tao evolvers equipped to face various difficulties. From the inner to the outer areas of the Black Mist Mountain Range, the Divine Ape King, the Giant Elephant King, and the King of Azure Birds were patrolling nearby. The Master is too kind to actually tell us not to lay hands on those ant-like humans. The Divine Ape King, Giant Elephant King, and King of Azure Birds had long been parasitized by seeds of the demon kind, absolutely loyal to Lin Yuan, with no improper thoughts or ideas. Indeed, with the Master's strength, he could easily take over half of the Tianqing world, not to mention unifying it. Yet he stays in the Black Mist Mountain Range. The Divine Ape King side, the Giant Elephant King and King of Azure Birds nodded in agreement. As hosts to the demon seeds, even though they acted exactly like the original demon beast kings, they had a certain innate inclination toward aggression and slaughter. This instinct came from the ancestral demon tree, which as a foreign evil god, delighted most in slaughter and invasion. All right, don't talk about this kind of thing anymore. If the Master hears it, punishment is unavoidable. After some thought, the Giant Elephant King warned. Although they were some distance from Lin Yuan at the moment, in the eyes of the few demon beast kings, the Master was invincible. If the Master wanted to know, there was nothing in the entire Black Mist Mountain Range that could be hidden from him. 8th layer. While cultivating enlightenment, Lin Yuan also pondered the path to the 8th layer. For an evolver like Lin Yuan, who had long since created his own inner world, the greatest challenge in advancing to the 8th layer was the Heart Demon Tribulation. The Heart Demon Tribulation was unrelated to the flesh. It targeted the spirit will. Therefore, during the Heart Demon Tribulation, external forces were essentially useless. To successfully overcome it, one could only rely on oneself on an indestructible spirit will. However, the concept of spirit will was very nebulous. The strength of one's spirit will was not necessarily linked to one's power. Of course, the stronger the evolver, the less likely their spirit will was to be weak. But there had been natives on a barbaric wilderness planet within the main world's human civilization who possessed frighteningly high spirit will. According to the teacher's words, the so-called heart demon is the condensed essence of the endless resentment and other negative energies of a world. It's related to the fundamental laws of the world, and only appears when an evolver reaches a certain layer. Lin Yuan silently thought, recalling the details that the Chiquan Star-Lord had discussed regarding heart demons. Normally, a heart demon is a phantom entity, even more ethereal than the soul or primordial spirit, so not even soul defense treasures can counter the heart demon. When a 7th rank peak evolver attempts to break through to the 8th layer, the heart demon tribulation descends, leaving no possibility for turning back because the heart demon cannot be blocked, nor can you flee from it. As long as you are within the world, there is nowhere to hide. However, I have the door to the myriad realms. Can I first traverse worlds, attempt to break through to the 8th layer, and face the heart demon tribulation? If I sense something amiss and find that I can't withstand the heart demon tribulation, then I'll run, returning to the main world. Heart demons couldn't possibly have the ability to travel through the myriad realms. Could they? To follow me back to the main world. Lin Yuan considered a subtle strategy, which was to utilize his own advantage and attempt to face the heart demon tribulation in different worlds. Outside the world, the endless demonic power of the ancestral demon tree formed the demon world, which was suddenly torn open by a rift. Whoosh! A figure burst forth from the crack, escaping while letting out bursts of wild laughter. Ha 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 ha! Foreign evil god, with the world's sword protecting me, you cannot possibly kill me. The Tianqing Alliance leader wielded the world sword and moved away from the ancestral demon tree. Damn it! The ancestral demon tree could only watch helplessly as the Tianqing Alliance leader escaped. Originally, it had been suffering an origin source deficit, and now it had exerted itself using the extremely taxing demon world technique, coupled with the numerous wounds inflicted by the Tianqing Alliance leader's sword within the world. The ancestral demon tree, now incredibly weak, was utterly incapable of pursuing to kill the Tianqing Alliance leader. Or rather, even if the ancestral demon tree had the strength to pursue, it would not, because it fundamentally couldn't kill the Tianqing Alliance leader. Whoosh! The Tianqing Alliance leader transformed into a ray of light and returned to the side of the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs. At the same time, the ancestral demon tree slowly receded and vanished from everyone's sight. Alliance leader. Alliance leader, are you all right? That evil god didn't hurt you, did it? The 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs immediately asked with concern. At this moment, the Tianqing Alliance leader's aura was somewhat weakened, but his eyes shone with unprecedented brightness. This time, he risked his life and fought alone against the ancestral demon tree. During their full-powered clash, he finally comprehended the true extent of the ancestral demon tree's weakness. Weakened. That foreign evil god is currently in a weakened state. The Tianqing Alliance leader's heart raced. The weakness he perceived was not due to the use of a trump card, but rather, it predated that. It was already very weak. The opportunity for my Tianqing world is coming. The Tianqing Alliance leader looked towards the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs, his spirit agitated and filled with confidence. Chapter 349. Command the demon beast kings of the 10 great mountains with my decree. Decades ago, the Tianqing Alliance leader had already faintly perceived the weakness of the ancestral demon tree. But at that time, he wasn't certain and couldn't confirm if the so-called weakness was intentionally revealed by the ancestral demon tree. It might have been a ploy to lure him into a trap. Wielding the world sword, the Tianqing Alliance leader was nearly invincible. However, the precondition was that he could not stray too far from Tianqing world, as beyond a certain range, the power of the world sword would be diminished. If the ancestral demon tree had such intentions, the Tianqing Alliance leader naturally needed to be vigilant. It was just now, in the midst of battle with the ancestral demon tree within the demon world, and with the help of the world sword senses, the Tianqing Alliance leader truly felt the ancestral demon tree's weakness. In the midst of a fierce battle, and with the world sword's perception, the Tianqing Alliance leader confirmed his judgment. My fellow cultivators, our chance in Tianqing world has come. The Tianqing Alliance leader said with a relieved breath, looking towards the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs with a serious expression. Opportunity. What opportunity? Alliance leader, do you know something? The 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs were originally somewhat anxious, but upon seeing the Alliance leader's expression and tone of voice, they immediately became curious. The ancestral demon tree. The Tianqing Alliance leader immediately shared his judgment. For over 300 years, the foreign evil god used its mighty power to forcibly open a battlefield outside our Tianqing world, dragging us into an endless war mire. Every moment, the strong of our Tianqing world die, but with the evil god lying in wait, we have had no opportunity to destroy that battlefield. The Tianqing Alliance leader spoke in a somber tone, as did the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs. Over 300 years of war had taken their friends, relatives, offspring, many of whom had been lost to the evil god puppets on the battlefield. And as long as that battlefield existed, the war could not be stopped. They indeed wanted to destroy the battlefield so the foreign evil god would lose the basis to initiate it, but the ancestral demon tree was too powerful. Even if the Tianqing Alliance leader joined forces with the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs, they could only manage to hold their own against the ancestral demon tree at best. But now, the ancestral demon tree was inexplicably weak, and the Tianqing alliance leader even had the confidence to contend with the adversary by himself. As such, there was the possibility to destroy the battlefield and end the war. As for the ancestral demon tree, the Tianqing alliance leader had no intention to kill it. That was not realistic, but simply planned to drive it away. But now, the opportunity has come. An opportunity to completely end the war has come. The Tianqing alliance leader stated emphatically, looking at the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs, pausing after each word. End the war. The hearts of the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs were ablaze. They had dreamed of ending the war, but after 300 years, hope always seemed out of sight. Having heard the alliance leader's words today, their hearts were beyond stirred. Going forward, I will use all our remaining resources to launch a counterattack, the Tianqing alliance leader said. If that evil god dares to intervene, leave it to me. All you need to do is secure the entire battlefield and then destroy it. Yes. The 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs replied without hesitation. The evil god battlefield was situated outside the world, and that was likely the evil god's lair and stronghold. If that evil god battlefield were destroyed, the ancestral demon tree would only be able to attack Tianqing world relying on its own strength, which would be virtually impossible. And with the ancestral demon tree's current strength, under the targeted defense of the powerful in Tianqing world, it would not be able to open up a second battlefield. In theory, as long as the evil god battlefield was destroyed, the ancestral demon tree would no longer have the capability to come into Tianqing world. Issue my decree. Order the 10 mountain range demon beast kings to the battlefield, ready for a counterattack. The Tianqing alliance leader instructed. When the ancestral demon tree invaded, the whole Tianqing world mobilized to resist. But actually, before the battle began, the Tianqing alliance leader, among others, made the worst assumption. That was the inability to resist the ancestral demon tree's invasion, the collapse of the frontal battlefield. The war situation would spread within the world. For this reason, the Tianqing alliance leader, despite facing the most adverse warfield conditions, never summoned the 10 mountain range demon beast kings. The 10 mountain range demon beast kings were Tianqing world's last resort to prevent a war collapse and invasion by evil god puppets. In that eventuality, the 10 mountain range demon beast kings were to take action, replacing the defeated cultivator army to temporarily resist the evil god puppets' invasion. This was something the Tianqing alliance leader and the 10 mountain range demon beast kings had agreed upon many years ago when forming their covenant. In a crucial moment, the 10 mountain range demon beast kings must heed the Tianqing alliance leader's decree. Of course, the situation on the battlefield is ever-changing. The 10 mountain range demon beast kings were originally the Tianqing alliance leader's final force for resistance. But now, the Tianqing alliance leader wished to gather all forces for a counterattack, which naturally meant the plans had to change a bit. The demon beast kings, after all, represented a significant force that could serve as the spearhead for a counterattack. If the counterattack went smoothly and the evil god was repelled, everything would be worth it. Yes. 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 The 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs replied spiritedly, turning to depart and convey the Tianqing alliance leader's orders. Besides the demon beast kings, Tianqing world also harbored many hidden forces, all of which required the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs to authorize and command. Chapter 350. The Tianqing alliance leader saw off the 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs. Next, in order to fully mobilize all the forces of the Tianqing world, the Vice Alliance hierarchs, protectors, elders, and other senior members of the alliance would travel within the Tianqing world. He, however, needed to continue presiding over the battlefield to prevent the final counterattack of the ancestral demon tree. Everything is almost over. The Tianqing alliance leader mused to himself with a deep and thoughtful gaze. Outside the Black Mist Mountain range, 2 streaks of light descended. This is the Black Mist Mountain range. I remember. The Black Mist Mountain range has 8 demon beast kings. The strongest is the giant elephant king, possessing the bloodline of an ancient divine elephant. The 2 streaks of light transformed into 2 figures. On the left was a lean old man named Chu Zhuang, an elder of the Tianqing alliance. The Tianqing Alliance had 156 elders, each wielding 6th-rank strength, belonging to the alliance's upper echelon of power. The one on the right was a young man named Liaoan, also an elder of the Tianqing Alliance. Unlike the elder Chu Zhuang, Liaoan was quite young, just over 300 years old, had not even been born when the Tianqing world first encountered the invasion of the ancestral demon tree. Thus, Liaoan had never been to the Black Mist Mountain range. He had spent most of his time on the evil god battlefield, fighting against countless violent and cruel evil god puppets. "Let's go. We should head inside." The lean old man Chu Zhuang then briefed Liaoan on some information about the Black Mist Mountain range and moved to enter it. The purpose of their visit was clear. It was to convey the decree of the Tianqing Alliance leader, commanding the 8 demon beast kings of the Black Mist Mountain range to go to the evil god battlefield, preparing for the upcoming counterattack. The Alliance leader aligned the heavens and the earth, and against the foreign evil gods, he even holds a dominating advantage, and now he's preparing to counterattack. All the way, the lean elder Chu Zhuang couldn't help but express his emotion. He was indeed shocked when he first heard the Alliance leader's command to gather all forces of the Tianqing world for a counterattack. Indeed, Liaoan nodded. "I hope that after repelling the evil god, I can have a home." Liaoan couldn't help but say, "That's easy. With your strength and status, once the evil god is repelled, you'll be a hero of heaven and earth, and countless beautiful women will throw themselves at you." The lean elder Chu Zhuang laughed heartily. As they walked, the two chatted. Suddenly, Liaoan stopped. He looked carefully around. "What's wrong?" The lean elder Chu Zhuang also stopped, looking at Liaoan with a puzzled expression. "It's nothing. I just feel... Isn't it too quiet?" Liaoan furrowed his brows slightly. "Although I've never been to the Black Mist Mountain range, I've heard that this place is teeming with ferocious demonic beasts. It shouldn't be this quiet." To become an elder of the Tianqing Alliance at just over 300 years old. Besides, because of the increased opportunities to demonstrate valor due to the ancestral demon tree's invasion, Liaoan also possessed a kind of intuition and instinct that was unlike ordinary people's. He often sensed danger before it arrived. "It is indeed a bit quiet." The lean elder Chu Zhuang nodded slightly. "But it should be nothing to worry about, right? Maybe the few demon beast kings deep in the mountain range have commanded the ferocious beasts to leave this area." The lean elder Chu Zhuang didn't think much of it. Even though the Black Mist Mountain range was the territory of ferocious demonic beasts, under the invasion of the foreign evil god, humans and demonic beasts had long since come to a mutual understanding. Hopefully. Liaoan thought for a moment and also felt he might be overthinking it. This was a major rear area in the Tianqing world. It wasn't absolutely safe but wasn't far from it. It was clearly inappropriate to maintain the same level of alertness here as on the battlefield against the evil gods. "Let's go. We should be close." The lean elder Chu Zhuang quickened his flying speed. Liaoan followed closely behind, heading deeper into the Black Mist Mountain range. Boom, boom, boom. Just then, a gigantic creature nearly 100 feet tall blocked their way. This massive creature was none other than the Divine Ape King, acting on Lin Yuan's orders to patrol the Black Mist Mountain range. It is one of the 8 kings of the Black Mist Mountain range, known as the Divine Ape King. The lean elder Chu Zhuang, upon seeing the Divine Ape King, was not startled but delighted, and turned to introduce it to Liaoan. "Divine Ape King?" Liaoan sized him up and down, nodding slightly. Just from the aura alone, the Divine Ape King surpassed the average newly advanced 6th-rank cultivators. With his colossal physique coupled with the inherent talents of demonic beasts, even a 6th-rank peak cultivator would not dare to underestimate him. "Divine Ape King, we are here by the mandate of the Alliance Hierarch to grant amnesty to you, the Demon Beast Kings, to go to the Evil God battlefield." To the Evil God battlefield? The Divine Ape King naturally wouldn't agree. Currently, he only followed Lin Yuan's commands, and as for whatever Tianqing Alliance leader, it naturally didn't catch his attention. "Not going." The Divine Ape King was resolute. "Not going." The gaunt elder Chu Zhuang was startled, seemed to think of something, and then slapped his forehead. Almost forgot. This is the mandate of the Alliance Hierarch. You should go now. The gaunt elder pulled out a token marked with the characters Tianqing. The token, only the size of a palm, emitted strange fluctuations that couldn't be duplicated or replaced. The mandate of the Alliance Hierarch? The Divine Ape King observed it closely for a few moments. Although it was parasitized by the demon seed, it retained memories from before and knew what the mandate of the Alliance Hierarch truly implied. It was the highest power within the Tianqing world, where every life form, be it human or demonic beast, must heed the command. However, this did not include the Divine Ape King. The Divine Ape King only recognized orders from Lin Yuan. Hold on, I will contact the other kings. The Divine Ape King closed his eyes, secretly reaching out to Lin Yuan. In the deepest parts of the Black Mist Mountain range, Lin Yuan was still immersed in enlightenment. Since the ancestral demon tree had lifted many restrictions on him, a variety of the ancestral demon tree's innate abilities awakened within Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan barely rested, constantly analyzing these with his against heaven's understanding, extracting their essence and discarding their dregs, integrating them into his martial path evolutionary path. Didn't expect that when the ancestral demon tree lifted the restrictions, it even greatly enhanced the abilities of the demon tree seeds. Lin Yuan slightly lamented. The demon tree seeds were abilities naturally mastered by a progeny demon tree. They didn't require the ancestral demon tree's explicit instruction to be unleashed and would naturally possess them upon reaching a certain stage. Originally, Lin Yuan thought the demon tree seeds were an unmodified method by the ancestral demon tree. But now, it was clear that he had underestimated the ancestral demon tree's precautions with its progeny. The most obvious indication was after the ancestral demon tree lifted the suppression on Lin Yuan. He not only awakened a vast number of former abilities, but even the existing demon tree seeds were significantly improved. The improvement here was comprehensive. Lin Yuan, with his against heaven's understanding. Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.